everybody, welcome back. So today this video is a 60-second reads video with a text that has been taken from Twinkl. Okay, so your text today is an extract that has been taken from the book The Railway Children. So you've got 60 seconds to read it. A small timer will appear in the bottom of the right hand corner of the screen, and once the 60 seconds is up, we'll go through some of the tricky vocabulary in there and then some of the questions and answers. Railways are some of the vocabulary that we thought might be a little bit tricky. So the first word, which you kind of need to know for this text, is the word railway. So the word railway refers to the tracks in which the train runs on. Passage. So if something is tiled, out is the word tiled, and it kind of links with the second word passage. So if something is tiled, it literally means that it is covered in tiles. So like a tiled wall would be the wall that is covered in tiles. So a tiled passage is kind of like a room that you enter into, or a long thin corridor which is covered in tiles. The next word that I've picked out is French windows. So French windows are just a kind of window, a specific type. They're usually quite tall and white wooden, usually around the outside. Not have been able to use in the past. So for example, a modern convenience. So if you describe something as being a modern convenience, it means something that exists today that we would use that we might not have been able to use in the past. So for example, a modern convenience could be like our mobile phone, because we use that to make our life feel a lot easier, but it's definitely not something that would have existed in the past. The next word is engineer. So if you're an engineer, that means that you are somebody who works with mechanical devices. The next word is christening, which links to the picture that's just come up on the screen. So it is a Christian ceremony where you welcome that person into the house of God. It is not quite as effective. If you refurnish something, it means that you put furniture into a place. So it might be because that place has had nothing in there before, or it might be that you've decided to redecorate that room, but that's essentially what that means. So nice and easy mumps is an illness. And last thing is nursemaid, and a nursemaid is somebody who in the past would have been there to look after young children while their parents were at work. So there are 4 questions, and I've left the text up there so you can refer back. Here's the questions. So there are 4 questions, and I've left the text up there so you can refer back to it. Pause the screen, have a go at the 4 questions, and once you have done that, if you press play, we'll go through the answers. A house agent is basically like an estate agent, or somebody who is. There was a reason I did not go through that word earlier. A house agent is basically like an estate agent, or somebody who sells houses, but from the past. Number 2, from these introductory paragraphs, what impression do you get of the children's lives? Give 2 reasons and justify your opinion. So basically, if you've only got 1 of these things in, you can have 1 mark. If you have got 2 of these things in, you can have 2 marks. You might have 2 answers, but 1 of them may not be on the sheet. If your answer is not on the sheet, it's not quite right. So you could have had anything along the lines of that they have a comfortable house, so that links to the every modern convenience house word. They have a mother who obviously loves them and spends lots of time with them. They celebrate their birthdays and other great occasions. They have pretty clothes, good fires, a lovely nursery with heaps of toys, and a Mother Goose wallpaper. Again, for that bit, if you just said one of those things, and that's absolutely fine. They have a kind and merry nursemaid. Told about the children's home. So again, it's like the last question. You have got to have all three to get 3 marks. If you've got 2 or 1, then you would have 2 and 1 marks for this question. It's not like it's 0 marks if you haven't got all 3. So you could have anything along the lines of, it was an ordinary red brick fronted villa. It had coloured glass in the front. It had a tiled passage that we call the hall. It had a bathroom with hot and cold water. It had electric bells. It had French windows. It had a good deal of white paint, and it had every modern convenience. And number 4, based on what you've read, what do you think might happen to the children later on in the story? Now, obviously, we get the idea that it's going to be something to do with railways because they are called railway children.